Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Curtis Lyons, and thanks for tuning in to our channel today. My name is Curtis Lyons. I am President and CEO of Lyons Legacy Planning. Lyons Legacy Planning is a financial planning company, and we focus on all types of financial plans. Retirement planning, we focus on legacy planning. We do life insurance. We help you plan for sending your kids off to college. We do everything that's that deals with financial planning. And you are all privileged here today to have the opportunity to join with me in performing our very first YouTube video. This video will also likely air on Facebook and Instagram as well, but it is made exclusively for YouTube, or mainly for YouTube. If it were exclusive, it wouldn't be on other platforms. But I'm excited just to be here and to be able to share information. And this is just a quick drop in, just to kind of give you an idea of what we're about at Lyons Legacy Planning and what we're looking to do in the future. Okay, so I did a video yesterday, on Juneteenth, in celebration of Juneteenth, wanting this to be a kickoff to the start of my YouTube career. And the video didn't go as planned, so as far as audio and what have you. So we are here now on June 20th, still in the spirit of the Juneteenth holiday and Father's Day. Shout out to all the fathers out there, belated Father's Day. And we wanted to make sure that we just brought information to you from our hearts and tell you what we're about. At Lyons Legacy, like I said, all things financial. So we will on this channel we'll discuss things like taxes. We'll discuss things like how to grow your money over time in different economies. We'll talk just the history of finances in the spirit of what's happened in the African American community. Now, let me just say this page and these videos aren't just for African Americans. We're focusing in that direction because we really feel that is where the information will have its best impact, just because it's information that certain parts of our community really isn't privy to. But let me just tell you something. When it comes to economics, when it comes to anything that goes on in America, when America catches the flu, the African American community catches pneumonia. Okay, so what I mean by that is that things that affect everyone, affects the African American community the hardest. If you look at COVID, for example, it affected everyone, but the African American community really got hit the hardest. I've asked some of my non-African American colleagues, how many people did they lose to COVID, and some don't know any. Some folks say, oh, I know one. I had a friend that was sick a little bit, but they were fine. I had a little scratchy throat, but me, myself, I was in the hospital for a week, and I lost 25 acquaintances and friends due to COVID, So it was a very, very tough time for me and things that I saw. So that just gives you an idea where white America is affected in one way, Black America is affected in a much harsher way. And so this information, I just feel that the impact will be felt greater in the African American community, but this information is good for anyone, from any community. It's going to add value to your life regardless, So once again, Lyons Legacy Planning website is www.lyonslegacyplanning.com. You can go there and check out our site and get a good idea of what it is that we do there. And just our mission really basically falls around helping to empower the African American community in all marginalized communities in financial literacy and education. I see that having the impact of just giving individuals who work with Lyons Legacy peace of mind. A peace of mind to know that they will have financial, personal, and professional freedom, and that they will be in position with the information on how to create generational wealth and leave a legacy across generations. We have a little joke in our business. We'll ask a client, or even a prospective client, did you know your great-grandfather? And what was his name? And so some folks, will say, no, I didn't know my great-grandfather. But I'll be like, do you know his name? And many folks can't tell you his name. And our joke is because he didn't leave you any money. So you don't know his name because he didn't leave you any money. We want to make sure that your great-grandchildren know your name and know who you are. And we're going to make sure that happens at Lyons Legacy. All right? So let me just go into a little bit about what we're going to do on this channel. You have what you have to look forward to. You have information about wills and trusts to look forward to. Okay, understanding them. I'll have guests on here, attorneys that can, that will share the difference between a will and a trust. And I'll help you in understanding on when and how to use the will and trust. What makes most sense in what particular situation. Okay, we'll also be able to talk about just the issues with the racial wealth gap in our country. If you're familiar, there's an author named Eugene Mitchell, who's a former colleague of mine, as well as someone I know pretty well. He has a book called Closing the Racial Wealth Gap. And in that book, there's a statistic that basically says that the African American community is just under 230 years behind our white counterparts financially. To put that into perspective, if the white community does not grow at all financially, let's just say going forward, and we're growing at the pace we're going, it'll still take us 227 years to catch up with them. Okay, that's wild. Now, we know why a lot of that is. A lot of it has to do with a lot of laws that were on the books that kept us locked out of things. But today, we're not locked out anymore. And the information is there, and all we have to do is get it, use it, and execute it. Okay? And then know how to pass it on. Because, you see, the wealth you see in other communities is often built on top of the wealth created by the prior generation. So you're seeing generations of work, which, in our community, you may only see one generation of work, if you're lucky. And some of our other counterparts have seen multiple generations of work, okay, financial work and legacy paths. Something very interesting, though, that I heard and read in this very book is that African Americans may be 227 years behind, but our Hispanic counterparts are only 89 years behind their white counterparts. So why is that? Because we're both black and brown, and many of us live in the same communities. And so I was wondering why does this population, both that have had their issues in America, why is this population way further ahead than the African American population? Well, from what I've understood, and one thing I'll know that I've noticed is that if you ever spend time in your Hispanic communities throughout the country, and here in Detroit, we have Southwest Detroit, which is very heavy Mexican, Puerto Rican, and Cuban, and what you'll see there is that they have something that we all have, but they really take something serious. That's called family. La familia, they say. Okay, they take care of family. Okay, and family they take care of each other through family. I had a stepson that used to go to a school out there, and and even I actually went to a school with a very high Hispanic population. That was Detroit Chassis High School. And one thing you notice in the morning, for example, is that the kids were walked to school by mom and dad. Mom and dad will walk them to school and bring them to school. And mom and dad would pick them up, and there was family, and it was nothing for them to live, multiple people in one residence, and not only that, but to stay past the ripe old age of 18. They would stay there until they were together, until they had their stuff together. Then they would, go out, into the real world on their own, living on their own. One thing about our community is, we often tell our kids, as soon as you turn 18, you got to get out, and they don't get that support that they were looking for, or that they may desperately need. We have to, as a community, become comfortable with supporting our family until they are able to walk out the door and support themselves completely, and be willing to step in and help when you can. Now, of course, if you have a child that's not doing what's best for themselves, and they're on drugs or something like that, of course, we got to use some discretion. But I do think that it's important that family supports each other. Okay. Also, just on the regular adult thing without kids, the idea of getting married. Okay. In the Black community, we don't really embrace marriage like we should. Okay. And we have to understand that wealth is built through family. Married couples working together do better, they earn more, and they live longer. Plain and simple. Okay, so you have to be comfortable with that as well. All right, so we're going to talk about all that, okay, because all that plays a role in why we're still 227 years behind, and Hispanics are only 89 years behind. Okay, so just wanted to make sure that individuals knew who we are, what we do. This is the first of many future YouTube channels, and we're going to really get into it in the future. So definitely look out for our talks on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We have Money Making Monday, Wealth Creation Wednesday, and Financial Fridays. We're also probably going to do something called Social Justice Sundays as well. Oh, we almost lost it. And we're going to make sure that we are in place to provide some of the best benefit and information that we can. All right, you all, thanks for tuning in, and let's get ready to go forward.